Welcome back, or welcome to America Sports. It's time again for us to get our crystal balls out and pick some games. It's the NFL, brother. So we've got great matchups every single week. This one is no different. Let's get right on into it. So what we do is we take the two biggest games from the 1 o'clock slate, the two biggest games from the 4 o'clock slate, Sunday night and Monday night football. Last week I was 5-2 straight up, 5-2 against the spread, and also 5-2 in the over-under, which beat my co-hosts Terrell and Justin. Rule number one for me is when I watch other people make videos and predictions and things, if they're not telling you their results week in and week out, there's a reason for that. And first game of the week, we got the Ravens at the Bengals. The Bengals are giving the Ravens 3 points, and the over-under is at 46.5. Ravens last week took care of business. They took care of CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans 25-9, while the Bengals did the opposite of look good. They got beat 24-3. But you can kind of throw week one out of the window when it comes to these two teams. These games are almost always close. The Bengals are not a bad team. I think anyone can tell you that. So the chances of them improving this week's showing are huge. Not only that, but the Ravens weren't great on offense either. They're already missing a bunch of players. As really Baltimore's biggest problem over these last 2-3 years have been themselves with the injury. The injury bug bites them often. Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum on the offensive line will not be playing against the Bengals. As we know, J.K. Dobbins is done for the year. And now safety Marcus Williams will also not be playing. Now they should get their tight end Mark Andrews back, and that's huge for this offense. But losing these guys, I think, is just too much, and a Bengals team that is starved to perform well, and I think they will. Of course, I'm a Bengals fan, and I have high hopes. I go under in this game because I go under in Cincinnati in the Ravens game every time they play, and it works every time they play. And I also have the Bengals winning and covering. I can see a 24-20 or 24-21, so it's going to be very close to covering, but I do say that they do cover. Give me a 24-20. Alright, the other 1 o'clock game that we're doing is the Chiefs at the Jaguars. The Chiefs are giving 3.5 points, and the over-under is 51. They are the highest over-under, and that's par for the course. The Chiefs are pretty much always going to be in the highest over-unders just about every week. If you were able to get Calvin Ridley on your fantasy team, that's another guy. He's probably going to be a top 5 wide receiver this year, and I love their trio. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Calvin Ridley. So I don't think their problem will really be that much on offense, even though Bolton's going to be everywhere. Jones is going to be, ecstatic to play some football. So, I mean, all signs point to Kansas City. I think everybody is on Kansas City getting back on track, and that's usually when I fade the public, but not in this instance. And the Chiefs are going to get back on track. The Chiefs are going to win. Jacksonville will go to 1-1, along with, obviously, the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Let's see what's next. For the 4 p.m. slate, we have the 49ers at the Rams, and the 49ers are favored by 7, and the over-under is 45.5. Now, usually over the last, 3-4 years now, you could actually say the 49ers have just taken it to the Rams. So, yeah, I still got the 49ers to win, but I actually think they do not cover this. I think the Rams give them a game for once. And the Rams are a lot better than people think. There was a lot of Rams being picked up on fantasy this week. Matt Stafford still has his long ball, and Tutu Atwell is the perfect guy to be catching those. So I think that combination is going to be an underrated one this year as well. The Rams went into Seattle, put up 30. To me, that's a big statement. I mentioned it on my weekly show that you can check right here. But the 49ers are not going to let those big plays or as many big plays as Seattle led up, even though I think Seattle's defense is better this year. All throughout training camp, we kept hearing that Brandon Ayuk just is unguardable. Nobody can guard this guy. Will he have 2 touchdowns again? That's highly unlikely, but I don't see the Rams being able to stop the 49ers, but the Rams will keep it close. I'm going 49ers win, but they don't cover, and I'm going the under 45.5. Second game in the 4 o'clock slate that we have is the Jets at the Cowboys. It's in Dallas. Dallas is favored by 8.5, and the over-under is 38.5. We were always going to talk about this game. With the loss of Aaron Rodgers, it changes a lot of things. With as low as an under as this is, I think I still like the under here because I think the Jets are going to be starved for points, and Dallas might also be. But it's going to be less of a struggle for Dallas. The worst matchup here is the offensive line for the Jets versus the defensive line for the Cowboys. This is going to be scary. We saw how much they got to Daniel Jones. Zach Wilson also mobile, but he's going to be running for his life, not running for the football team. So I think the Cowboys win and they cover this because I think that they win by about 10 points, maybe 2 touchdowns. This now brings us to Sunday Night Football, and we've got a dandy. We've got the Miami Dolphins, who put on an absolute show last week at the New England Patriots. Miami is giving out 3 points, and the over-under is 46.5. This is good old-fashioned Sunday night in Foxborough. It is going under. If you know anything about my predictions, I'm generally an unders guy. It's that in primetime games, the games are going under. Thursday night, Vikings and the Eagles went over, and I was kind of shocked by it. That was the first over in primetime, I do believe. This is New England. They're going to muck it up. You will not get as many big plays. Now, how do you cover Tyreek Hill? The answer is you do not. You can't. But they will limit him as much as possible. They will do everything they can to take the biggest weapon away. They will force Miami to try to be a running team. I would look for Waddle to have a very nice game. The scoring for Miami is definitely coming down. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott fumbles this week, and the run game gets very established versus Miami. Actually, I think this is very tough. This is a coin flip in my opinion. But I give it to Miami. Miami's playing too well. But the Patriots are a good football team. Give me Miami by field goal and definitely under. We got 2 games on Monday night, and I'm pretty ecstatic about this. You got the Saints at the Panthers, and the Saints are giving away 3 with the over-under at 39.5. Derek Carr threw for over 300 last week, and Olave is amazing football player. And Carolina swept New Orleans last year. Both games were sort of close. The second game that they played was an absolute shit show. It was 10-7, and it's going under again. I don't think it'll be 10-7. We're going to see more offense than that. Because New Orleans has a little bit of offense, and I think Carolina does too. Now, Carolina has been banged up. Bryce Young, rookie quarterback. You didn't expect them to put up a bunch of points last week, but I think they start to feel a little bit of a rhythm here. Miles Sanders got established a little bit in the run game. They gave it to him 18 times. Now, he did fumble, and that doesn't mean that I think they're going to score a bunch, because I don't. The Saints are going to win. They just do not have an answer for Olave. Jamal Williams, I believe, will get in the end zone this week. They win, and I'm going to say they cover, but man, I really don't want to. That's just wonderful analysis. It's going to be close. But yeah, give me the Saints by either 4 or 7. The Browns are at the Steelers. Cleveland is giving out 2.5 with the over-under at 38.5. Normally, this is a classic AFC North game that you would scream at the under, and with these two, that's what happens. But I'm going to over. I just have a feeling that we're going to get to see Cleveland and Pittsburgh put up the offense that all of their media team members have been raving about this year. The problem with going against the grain like this is that these teams just know each other so well. Even with me saying over just sounds like a stupid thing. It really does. But I'm especially talking about Cleveland's offense. Pittsburgh's offense looks a lot the same to me as last year, and I know they played the 49ers, but if you're a much better team like everyone is talking about, then you should be able to at least keep up with the 49ers in Pittsburgh. It shouldn't be a blowout. You do have Allen Robinson added to make that, in theory, that's a good trio, but this offensive line struggles, and Cleveland's defensive line does not. Cleveland wins this, they definitely cover. I think it'll be close for a bit, and then the second half, the Cleveland Browns' talent just pulls away from Pittsburgh. You could see a 27-14 or maybe even 27-17.
Be sure to let me know in the comments below how you think this will play out. And if you end up liking the video, consider subscribing because we are predicting all the divisions and we'll be predicting games all season long. We also do other sports like basketball too.